Good morning. Welcome back to the channel Awesome Learning. The next topic that we are going to do in endocrine system, that is human endocrine system, is gonad. So there are two types of gonads: testes, which is the male gonad, and ovary, which is a female gonad. Now, you see, testes is the male primary sex organ and it is also an endocrine gland. Now, why do we call it as a sex organ? Because it is responsible for the production of sex cells, that is the sperm, and it is also an endocrine gland because it produces the male sex hormone called the testosterone, also known as androgens. A pair of testes is present in the scrotal sac. You can see this is the scrotum or the scrotal sac, and inside that scrotal sac we have a testes. Children, testes are placed outside the body because the sperms require 1 to 2 degree lesser temperature than the body temperature to develop. So that is why testes are present outside the body. Next, testes have a lot of seminiferous tubules. You can see it, the inside view of a testes. There are many pyramids, and each pyramid are filled with seminiferous tubules and interstitial cells also, all the stromal cells. That is the place where there is no seminiferous tubule or in between the seminiferous tubule where the space is left, there are certain cells called Leydig cells, and these Leydig cells are responsible for the production of hormone called testosterone, also called as androgens. Okay, now let's move on. Uh, okay. Now, as you see here, functions of androgens are they regulate the development, maturation, and functions of accessory sex organs. Okay, then accessory sex organs are developed by these androgens. Along with that, spermatogenesis, that is the production of sperm. Okay, spermatogenesis means production of sperm is taken care of by androgens. Then stimulate the sexual behavior, that is libido, and growth of muscle. Sexual behavior, that is an interest has been developed for the opposite sex, that is called sexual behavior. Then growth of muscles take place, development of hairs in the axillary hair, body hair, and the hairs that are grown on the pubic areas, and then aggressiveness increases, pitch becomes heavy, that is low pitch voice in case of males. So these are the changes that are caused due to the androgens. Then help in anabolism of protein and carbohydrates. So anabolism means development, catabolism is breaking down, anabolism is when small molecules merge to form a bigger one. Okay, so these all these things are done by all these functions are being taken care of by androgens. Okay, then we come to the female gonad, that is ovary. It is also a female primary sex organ because it produces ovum, and along with that it is also an endocrine gland because it produces hormones. A pair of ovaries are located in the abdomen. We know that ovaries are placed here in the abdomen on both the sides. It produces one ovum during the menstrual cycle. Now, one ovum is produced every month. Now, suppose in January this ovary has produced an one egg, then in February this ovary will produce one egg. So alternatively, they produce one egg every month. Okay, then you see ovary is formed of ovarian follicles. There are many follicles, and these follicles have stages. The follicles will have primary stage, that is, it is known as primary follicle. Then it will get matured to become secondary follicle. Then from secondary one, it will convert into a tertiary follicle, and after that, it will convert into Graafian follicle. So all this we will class 12 when we are going to study the reproduction chapter. So remember that follicles have various stages. So the mature follicle is called the Graafian follicle, and when this Graafian follicle ruptures, the ovum from this Graafian follicle is released, and now whatever is left after the bursting of Graafian follicle and after the release of ovum, whatever is left behind is called corpus luteum. Whatever is left behind is called corpus luteum, and this corpus luteum is responsible for the production of a hormone called progesterone. And presence of progesterone means the pregnancy has started. Presence of progesterone will indicate the starting of pregnancy. That means if progesterone hai to pregnancy hai. And to keep that pregnancy for 9 months, this production of progesterone is very much necessary. So this is all about ovary. Again, I will tell you ovarian follicles have the many stages. First, it will be primary follicle, then it will be secondary follicle, then it will be tertiary follicle, and at the end, it will get matured into a Graafian follicle, which is the matured follicle. Okay, now ovarian follicle, all these follicles, they produce one more hormone called estrogen. Okay, estrogen is produced by these follicles. Now, after the rupture of Graafian follicle, when the Graafian follicle ruptures, okay, and the ovum is released from this Graafian follicle, ovum comes out, okay, that is done during ovulation. Ovum ka bahar aa jana, this process is called ovulation. So, whatever is now left behind, ओवम का बाहर निकलने के बाद जो भी बच जाता है, that is called corpus luteum, and that corpus luteum is responsible for the production of another hormone called progesterone. तो आप देख रहे हो कि ओवरी में दो तरह के hormones produce होते हैं. Follicles जो हैं they produce estrogen and corpus luteum produces progesterone. So these are the two sex hormones produced by the female gonad, that is ovary. Now let's see what is the function of estrogen. Estrogen stimulates the growth and the activities of female secondary sex organs. Then development of ovarian follicles, प्राइमरी से सेकेंडरी, सेकेंडरी से टर्शरी, टर्शरी से ग्राफियन, इनकी डेवलपमेंट के लिए भी एस्ट्रोजन की जरूरत पड़ती है. आफ्टर दैट फीमेल सेकेंडरी सेक्स कैरेक्टर्स एंड जैसे हाई पिच्ड वॉइस, ब्रॉड एब्डोमेन ब्रॉड जाता है, डेवलपमेंट ऑफ ब्रेस्ट टेक प्लेस, दैट इज मैमरी ग्लैंड, सेक्सुअल बिहेवियर होता है. ऑल दीज थिंग्स आर ऑल्सो बीन टेकन केयर ऑफ बाय एस्ट्रोजन हार्मोन. Progesterone, as I told you earlier, this is a pregnancy hormone. It supports pregnancy. अगर progesterone है तो pregnancy है. So it acts on mammary glands to stimulate the formation of alveoli sacs. क्योंकि memory में these are the alveoli. तो जितने ये alveoli sacs first stimulated रहेंगे, उतना milk production होगा and the baby will be able to feed the milk. For the milk secretion जो है, progesterone is also required for milk secretion. Okay, so this is all about gonads.